Please welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strada. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos and leave commentaries and also educate each and every one of ours, you guys are the real MVP. So guys, I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share where the president of South Africa actually met with Orange Man and they got talking and want to let the whole of the social platform is reacting to these meetings. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
Another day for the history books today from Donald J. Trump. An astonishing display from him in the White House today. Donald Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate that leader inside the Oval Office. But what he did instead was embarrass and humiliate the people of the United States of America again. In his meeting with President Ramaphosa, Trump peddled unsubstantiated claims of genocide in South Africa of white South Africans, a group that ruled during apartheid in South Africa. It is a fringe conspiracy theory pushed by the likes of Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, and David Duke, the former Grand Wizard of the KKK. So next, Trump asked his staff to dim the lights and roll in a television. Once the lights were dimmed and the television was there, they played a video that Trump claimed showed evidence of genocide against white farmers. Here's the reality as reported by the New York Times. Quote, there have been killings of white South Africans, but police statistics show they are not killed at a higher rate than other South Africans. And while the South African government did pass a law permitting the government to take land without compensation, the process is subject to judicial review. President Ramaphosa did his part to fact-check Donald Trump in real time. He added that he didn't even recognize some of the locations in the video. Here's what he had to say.
Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can take land.
And then when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is
nothing happens.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people.
I just got finished watching the South African president and the president of the United States sit in the Oval Office and talk things through, okay? Now, the meeting, the real meeting, okay, so they had two different reasons for the meeting, okay? Trump wanted to talk about the stuff that's happening, that he believes is happening to the Afrikaners in South Africa, okay? And the South African president, he wanted to talk about building relations as far as business and technology and to help provide more jobs to South Africa and things of that nature, because he believes that's the root of the problem. That's what South Africa was coming to talk about, and they're coming to talk about relations. But as the meeting went on, Trump pulled out these big thick printouts from all over the web. You could tell it was the web, okay? So anybody can write whatever, right? But it was the web and about farm attacks on Afrikaners in South Africa, right? Which is why they're fleeing. He said, this is what the meeting is about. So Trump had a whole other thing in mind, right? And so then there was this big screen, like this widescreen TV in there, and they showed two groups, but I'm more familiar with Malema, right? And how what they were saying on the microphone and against the Afrikaners. But yeah, they were showcasing stuff that was backing up Trump's claim that Afrikaners were a target in South Africa, okay? And he asked the South African president, he said, why haven't you arrested Malema for saying the things that he says? This was the clapback. This was clapback moment number one Okay, but the South African president didn't come prepared, okay, to clap back, okay, because he would have clapped back, because all he could have said was, the same way you don't arrest the Triple K in your nation. It's called freedom of speech. We got freedom of speech over there too. The same way you pardoned everyone on January 6th. We ain't gonna talk about that, are we? Even though they had the whole guillotine out there for somebody that ran with you called Pence, the vice president. We ain't gonna talk about that. You see, that's the clapback. So as the meeting went on and everything, right? It was more the South African president trying to keep a lid on things. Because I think in the back of his mind, he knew that it could erupt if he said the wrong thing. So I think he came prepared to say what he wanted to say without it erupting. But he had other people speak, and the majority of people who spoke in there on the South African side were Afrikaners or a white South African man. Okay. Okay, so and here's point number 2. Okay, when he was like, we have to get this fixed. Why aren't you fixing this? Why aren't you fixing this? Blah blah blah. This is what the administration was saying. And my thing is this: why didn't there was a lot of ways you could come at this, and I'm assuming the South African president just didn't want to, tell the complete and whole truth, because all he had to do was say, why haven't I gotten a handle on my issue? Is because the same reason why you hadn't gotten a handle on your issue in these schools with them pew-pews. Same reason why you hadn't gotten a handle on it. Matter of fact, do you need our help? Because while you helping us, we can help you get all these pew-pews off the street too. Here's the one thing that really got me. When one of those guys, one of the Afrikaners were talking, they were like, two wrongs. Well, I know I grew up under apartheid, and but two wrongs don't make a right. And that's the thing I don't like. It's because y'all act like y'all don't have to repair nothing. You do. Because the land that you actually want, most of it was stolen. So give it back. And all of the land has not been given back. That's fact 1, and that's all they had to say. That's all the president had to say. But excuse me, most of that land was stolen, Mr. President. So if someone steals something from you, if we're gonna give it back, we got to give it back. Correct? So that's what we're doing. And some people don't want to get up off it. So that's what's going on. That's how you're supposed to talk. That's how you're supposed to talk over here. Ain't no no, because they're not about to laugh at you. So bottom line, how do I think the meeting went? I think the meeting was garbage. Really, nothing was really done. I think the meeting was just for show. Yeah, I think it was garbage, and nothing really got handled, because the first thing that should have been said, I believe, from the South African president's mouth is what the majority of South African people are saying, white and black, is that it's a lie. There is no G word going on in South Africa. Okay. And number 2, just like in your country, we have the freedom to say what we want to say. And if Malema says what he says or whatever like that, it's just like, it's the equivalent of what someone else may say in your following over here in the United States of America that you might, some other people might take offense to. Okay. And as far as all those newspaper clippings and stuff like that, I'd have been like, okay, well, let me show you. I'd have pointed to my homeboy on the couch that wasn't doing nothing. Start looking up all the clips real quick of all the black South Africans. Okay, that have gotten taken out. Okay, by the hands of. Okay, that's what I would have been like. Because what you're not gonna do is hand me no internet files, put them in my freaking hand like I'm supposed to read them. Them suckers would have been landed clean on the floor. But that's why I would have got loads of ratings. If I went to the you want a showdown, baby? We about to have a showdown for show enough. But yeah, nothing happened. It's gonna be the same old, but I do believe that based on this meeting, they are going to plan something for South Africa, and it's going to be for the good of those who once ruled in apartheid. If they don't watch it. I just got finished watching the South African presidents and the president.
Take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on.
It's not a white genocide in South Africa. It's a little something called reparations, which is something that never happened in America. So I think it's a good idea that we finally let it happen in South Africa, because colonizers that look like me moved to the area and stole the land of black farmers. And it's only fair that we give land back through policies fairly to ensure that there is a more equitable society in South Africa. If you want to talk about the big G word, we have to bring up Gaza, Palestine, and the West Bank, because that's what's happening there, where an entire people is being wiped out because a certain somebody doesn't like them. And I know South Africa has problems, but there's no evidence for the ones that Donald Trump is making up. And that's exactly the problem, because billionaires are so afraid of losing their land and power in South Africa that they are willing to make up atrocities to hopefully hold on to them. And as always, let me know what you're thinking in the comments below.
What did we learn from President Ramaphosa's visit to the White House? Imagine causing international debate where hundreds of millions of people are watching and you aren't even in the room. President Trump came with an agenda and didn't allow President Ramaphosa to speak one bit. What I can say, though, that is, even though President Ramaphosa wasn't afforded the opportunity to carry out and express what he wanted to say, the way this man remained so calm, that thing is inspiring. The president kept quiet, saw the importance of the moment and realized that it was bigger than him. But there was one key person. Her name is Zingiswa Losi. She's the president of COSATU, and she took advantage of the moment and said exactly what needed to be said in the moment for South Africa.
Lastly, for me, President, is also the issue of the crime statistics. There is no doubt about it that we are a violent nation, for a number of reasons, and we're not condoning anything. But also, if you go into the rural areas where black majority are, you would see women, elderly, being raped, being killed, being murdered. And these are black elderly women that would be found throat slits, raped multiple times and all of that. And the problem in South Africa, it is not necessarily about race, but it is about crime. And we think that we are here to say, how do we, both nations, work together to reset, to really talk about investment, but also help us in how we can have the technology and everything that is needed, President, to really address the levels of crime that we have in our country.
Zingiswa Losi anchored it in what it was supposed to be about, and I think she really concluded well. Hi guys, all I want to say is may God bless South Africa. Mastanda Zen.
President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, take a bow. You are black excellence. Have you seen the showdown that happened between President Ramaphosa and President Trump at the White House about this whole white genocide situation happening in South Africa? President Ramaphosa is so strategic and so smart. He knew that as a black South African, he would not get the ear of the type of president Trump is. So he brought with him in his delegation 3 white South Africans, including his Minister of Agriculture, who were also saying to Trump, this whole story of genocide of white farmers in South Africa is false. Didn't work. Did not work. The Afrikaner white refugees that came to America recently are all famous people. Golfers, there's a billionaire in there. So the theory is that Elon Musk has planted the seed in Trump's ear with his other right-wing allies that there is this genocide of white people going on in South Africa. They also provided him with the absolute proof in this video from this minority political party in South Africa. This political party was spewing a lot of hate rhetoric towards white farmers and were advocating for unaliving them. The gag is, though, that this was a very tiny minority grouping that has absolutely no political power and cannot influence South African policies. So Trump showing that video shows that he really does not understand who is calling the shots in South Africa, because that video totally just discredited his claim of genocide, and he did not even realize that. I give so much credit to President Ramaphosa. He was poised, he was diplomatic, he was articulate, he made sense. Perfect representation of strong African leadership. South Africa, you should feel so proud of your president. He came to America and he shone like a diamond in comparison to his American counterpart. Let me know what you think of President Ramaphosa's visit. Did he do a fantastic job representing not only South Africa, but Africans and African leaders on the world stage?
Okay, per usual, the press conference at the Oval Office today between fuckface Trump and President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa devolved into chaos because fuckface Trump can't help himself, spewing lies and propaganda. Even played a video showing what appeared to be a very minor political party in South Africa doing these sort of racist chants, okay? And then trying to give out handouts of evidence of genocide. It's just crazy. And one of the most telling things about all this is what the Deputy Secretary of State, Chris Landau, said upon these South Africans being settled. Here's what he said. One of the criteria was that refugees did not pose any challenge to our national security and that they could be assimilated easily into our country. In other words, white and English speaking. That's what that means. So again, I just want to go back to the square one with all of this. This is white supremacy as policy. Okay? This is the great replacement theory as an underlying governing philosophy. Let's not get twisted. Yes, violent crime is a problem in South Africa. But when they're citing these farm statistics, these farm murders, apparently 225 farm murders have occurred in the past 5 years. Half of those, apparently, were black people who are working on the farms. So use of the term genocide is outrageous and false. That's all you need to know. And this is racist ideology in action.
Trump is on a mission to embarrass us in front of every country in the world, except for Russia. He made us look stupid in front of Ukraine. He showed the Middle East how easy it is to buy him. And today, he tried to give a lecture about the history of South Africa to the president of South Africa. And everything he was trying to teach was wrong. It was like President Trump teaches at Bizarro School. Trump showed him a photograph of what he said was a burial site for 1,000 white farmers. The South African president looked at it and said, "That's not in South Africa." Trump tried to tell him there's a genocide going on of white people in your country. He said, "We have crime, but we do not have that, sir." I love when Trump is telling people from other countries about crime in their countries. I wish just one of them would be like, "Let's talk about crime in your country, sir, because you got a lot of guns on the street, you got a lot of criminals here, and you got a lot of people you have incarcerated. That is not good governance."
Like, seriously, love this. When I say that this man know exactly what he's doing. He know exactly what he's doing. So this South African president decided that he was going to meet up with the president, but I just keep on asking myself, why is it that these people keep on trying or wanting to meet him? Like, I don't understand. But that aside, so all of a sudden they were actually talking about, the South African president was actually talking about how to, have a relationship in terms of investment and all of that, and to enable, create job in South Africa, because most of the commentaries I've been seeing from most of these pan-colored South Africans are the fact that, oh, there is not good paying job, oh my god, jobs here and there and all of that, right? So all of a sudden, there is a question that came up, and he was like, the South African president was like, what are we going to do to make no, somebody asked the question, what are we going to do to make the president believe that there is nothing like Gen OC happening in South Africa, like Gen OC, like genocide that is happening in Palestine and Congo and all of that. What are we going to? How are we going to make him believe that? And South African president was like, okay, it's going to take his friends, his rich friends. That means the people that he is allowing to come into the country, to make him realize that there is nothing as such. So this man, who is always waiting for an opportunity, like, there's something about narcissist people. They're always ahead of you, even if you're following them with like, but they're always one step just to prove a point. So this man decided to play a clip of Malema, right, where he's talking about Boer people and all of that. That is to back up his claim of there is Gen OC happening specifically to white South Africans in South Africa. He played that clip to like justify his claim. Now, there's one good thing about this whole thing. Even when some mega supporters were like, "Oh my God, Orange Man is very, very right," and all of that. But there's one good thing about the meeting where the South African president decided he actually came with some group of white South Africans. I think they're maybe Minister of Agriculture and all of that. And this man is still telling you that there is nothing as such. Yes, every country or every state and whatsoever have their own shenanigans going on. There is no state or no country that will say that there is no, bad eggs. Yeah? The black woman that was also there was like, they wouldn't dispute the fact that, there are no some group of gangs who go about to live people. They wouldn't dispute that fact, that something like that is not really happening. It does. But the thing is that these said gangs are not only, going to the farm to just go look for some pine-colored farmers. The same thing they are doing to people that look like me, black people. Black people are also victims of these said gangs. Black people are victims of it. And that doesn't mean that even in the state or in the country where Orange Man is, there are no crime rate and all of that. Another thing that baffles me was the fact that he said that why is it that the president of South Africa didn't arrest Malema for his speech. And I was like, there are so many things going on in your own. So why letting some people go free? And we also heard about some group of COP members getting cleared of their everybody has shenanigans going on. So this whole thing, this whole Gen OC happening is just a fallacy. It's just something that take its course. That doesn't mean that, oh my God, the country is on fire. Oh my God, the pan-color people out there are all hiding inside the bushes. They're all, it's something that is happening to everyone. But going as far as single-handedly picking up, why South Africans? Oh my God, the other people that is being affected, it's none of my business because they are not white. Even the black people that is being affected, it's none of my business because they are not white. It's just giving the nuances that you are. It's giving the level of the kind of person that you are. You don't need to keep on proving that you are not racist. You know? So that's just what I see. Even when the president of South Africa was like, I was like, this man, I think he didn't also come prepared, but he shows the level of intelligence that he has. He just all controlled himself, even if he was taken unaware and all of that. Like, anyway, lovelies, wanna just leave me your thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, please. If you've not subscribed to this channel up to this extent, please do get a huge button to subscribe to Belinda's channel, Ballistic G's. Share your thoughts and your opinion in the comment section of what you think, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.